Let's go Mets. Let's go Mets. Let's go Mets. Yeah.
You gotta believe and invest with your heart. Orange and blue, Til Mets Do Us part. Spring training, oh yes, it's the start. City Field gritty, Til Mets Do Us part. Hit home runs and knock it out the park. Big Apple, Til Mets Do Us part. You gotta believe and invest with your heart. Listen to the show, Til Mets Do Us part. John from Brooklyn, KB reps NJ. With the other team, I don't care what your friends say. Mets fans, we focus like a sensei. Listen to the podcast Monday, Wednesday. Made a couple bad plays, but we still won. Character, yup, we're gonna build some. Are you gonna check the pod? Is real fun. Just like Mookie, I will, son. So invest with your heart. Orange and blue, Til Mets Do Us part. Spring training, oh yes, it's the start. City Field gritty, Til Mets Do Us part. Hit home runs and knock it out the park. Big Apple, Til Mets Do Us part. You gotta believe and invest with your heart. Listen to the show.
Available now on all streaming platforms. If you love the New York Mets, check out Til Mets Do Us part. Enough rapping. Let's get to yapping.
What is up, Mets fans? Matt Ibanez here, a.k.a. Ibby. Til Mets Do Us part. Checking in with you live on a Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. And I can see the room starting to fill up, and I know there's a lot of feelings about this team, and we're going to get into all of it. But as always, thank you for joining me at the regularly scheduled time. This team has a lot of question marks, and we're going to get into all of it. Live right now on YouTube, live on X, and of course, we'll be streaming on all the audio platforms, Apple, Spotify, wherever it is that you get your podcast. So shout out to the 32 that are with me right now, and I'm sure that number is going to continue to climb. I'm sure that there are others that have gone live already and are doing their shows at this moment as well, because our Mets happen to move the time from a 7:10 start yesterday to a 1:10 start today because of weather. It is very gloomy. It's very dark and dreary and rainy here in Jersey. So wherever you are, hopefully you're nice and warm. As you can see, I have to break out the hoodie again because it's a little bit chilly. So they got the game in, nowhere near the result that we wanted, as the Mets were trying to go out there and get a sweep. Take 3 from the lowly Southsiders of Chicago, the Chicago White Sox. The Mets end up losing today. I believe it was 9-3. I was at work, so I didn't get a chance to watch the entire game. Saw bits and pieces here and there. Mets lose game 3 of the series. Take the series in general 2-1. Offense as a whole, nothing to really brag about when you're talking about the White Sox, when you're facing them. But yeah, some good, some bad. A lot's gone on with our team over the last week. We're going to get into all of it, as we always do. As you can see, I am flying solo once again. Episode 197, as we're closing in on 200 episodes, and I can't wait for that. Appreciate all of you that have joined me so far, up to 50 here. And I expect the number to keep on climbing. Shout out to people that are in the chat so far. We got Hebrew Hammer already yelling. Hopefully he comes back. Or if he took a nap, hopefully he wakes up soon. And he'll be back to providing us with his thoughts about this offense, which I know is bothering him, as well as bothering others. Shout out to Brad, who's in the building. Stanley Babbage in the building. OV, Odd Villain, my main man, Wu-Tang in the building. Love to see it. Andre's here. Let's see. Armand's finally here. Good to see you, brother. The unofficial producer of the show. Let's see. James said JD in the building. Welcome back, James. It's good to see you, brother. Try to get through all everyone here. Will White. Mr. Will White is in the building. Yes, it should have been a rain out. After subjecting people to watch that in the cold, it should have just been a rain out and called it. But they gotta get the games in. So I understand why they moved the time. Let's see. Charlie's here. Charlie's here saying, what offense? See a lot of good stuff in the chat. As always, guys, I'm going to do my best to keep up with the chat. I know you guys have your side conversations, but I will do my best to keep up with everything, answer any questions that I might be posted in there. I'll do my best to get to everything. As always, super chats are live, okay? That'll make sure that your question, no matter what, gets read, goes right to the top. Anyone that does give a super chat, always appreciate it. Thank you so much. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Helps us grow. We've been stuck on 1282 for the longest time. So if it's your first time here, whether you're on the X side or the YouTube side, whatever it may be, head on over to YouTube. If you're not there, subscribe to the channel. Trying to get to 1,300. Want to kickstart a new giveaway. It's a really cool item. Would love to kickstart that whole process, but I want to hit 1,300 subs first. Then we can start the campaign of our brand new giveaway, which I think a lot of people are really going to appreciate. It's a very cool signed piece of memorabilia that would be great for any Mets fans collection, any Mets fans man cave, what have you. Hopefully we can get there soon enough. Now, Mets White Sox, not something exactly anybody really wants to talk about because I saw in the chat so far that, people noticed and saying that the offense was very up and down, very scattered, and nothing to really brag about when you're talking about facing the lowly White Sox. But Mets still took the series 2-1. You take the wins any way you can get them. But we wish it could have been an easy series. We want to see easy things. You see them take 2 or 3 from the Dodgers over the weekend that just passed, which is great. NLCS rematch, they take 2 or 3. Really, they should have swept them, losing that Friday night game in extras. Not ideal. Should have swept the Dodgers, but end up taking 2 or 3. Look, name of the game is winning series. Of course, we want to win series, but at the same time, you can win series, but some things can be a little bit of the, are they pretender versus are they contender? Now, look, I still think our Mets are a contending team. I still think that they are a front runner to make the playoffs and can make noise in October. Keyword, can. Now, they're only going to go as far as the pitching holds up, but also as far as the offense can provide. Right now, the offense is not providing, and it's frustrating. But when it comes to this White Sox series, look, should they have swept them? Yes, they should. I'm going to talk about the schedule in the second half of the show, which is why it's part of the graphic today, because the Mets should be taking advantage of this upcoming schedule big time. Again, when you're working through things, it's good to be working through them and still winning. But eventually, things have to click. All right, we're entering June, which I think is a good barometer to this point, entering June and saying, well, this offense still hasn't clicked. We're still waiting for it. Like, we get bits and pieces here and there. It feels very fleeting at times. They have the big first inning yesterday, as they should, against the White Sox, against Cannon, and you would think, okay, it's going to spark something. Then they went cold again, and then everything kind of went downhill a little bit, and they hold on to get the win, but they should be doing a lot more damage with this offense, and we're going to talk about that offense. But there's a couple other things I want to get into before we get into the overall offense and what could be the problem in general. I've heard some great discussions across the Mets content community over the last couple of days about this, and I'll hit on some of those things that were mentioned. Hopefully we as a chat can maybe come to some sort of resolution. If you didn't already, make sure you look and vote over on the YouTube side. I see that we have 17 people on the YouTube side so far. Appreciate all of you. We only have 7 likes. Make sure you like the video. Again, helps us reach more people, better for the show. There is a poll being run right now that says the Mets are 12 games over 500. What worries you more? Are you more worried right now as they are 12 games over? Are you more worried about the pitching holding up? Or are you more worried that they are still lacking in offense? And right now, this is probably the most lopsided that we have been on a poll to this point in the show's history. I would say, to at least start something off. 18 votes are in so far out of the 19 people that are here. And it's a clean sweep. Lack of offense is leading right now. People are not worried about the pitching holding up. They trust Stearns. They trust the lab. They trust that they can keep on giving them rest. But it's the offense. Now, look, I think it's a little bit of both for me. And I'll touch on why that is. But the lack of offense then breeds into the pitching potentially being overworked. Difference in types of innings that pitchers have to go out there and have. Types of games that pitchers need to have. It's frustrating for a pitcher to go out there and give up 1 run and still lose, which has happened, which is not something that we want to happen. But the way this offense has been operating to this point, the pitching can only do so much. This is a staff, in my opinion, this is a staff that should be able to should be allowed to give up 3 runs and still win a ball game. And some points between the peaks and valleys, the ups and downs, the ebbs and the flows, whatever word you want to use for this offense, it feels at times that 3 runs can feel like 10 runs. And I'm sorry, with the names that are in this offense, it shouldn't be that way. And I know that you're working through things and you want something, things will improve over time. And I'm not trying to sound the alarm too, frantically right now. But it's still eye-opening. It is. And I want better. And I know all of you want better. You want to watch better games. You don't want boring offense. You don't want to be the team where you're more excited to watch the pitching and the defense as opposed to the hitting. Not when your offense consists of Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, Brandon Nimmo, Mark Vientos, guys like that. Brett Baty. That's right, Brett Baty. We're talking about him a little bit too. I'm excited about that. But in general, 12 games over, the offense has to come around. I believe that they're going to handle the pitching properly. And I believe that they're going to, work guys in. The 6-man rotation is going to be coming into play with Blackburn over the next, over the West Coast trip and so many games in X amount of days. Blackburn's going to work in. We know that Sean Manaea is pitching in Brooklyn. I think he was going to get about 25 pitches. I saw going up against Jose Siri, who's on assignment. Frankie Montas is getting closer. So there's arms and there's ways to keep guys fresh. I'm not too worried about that. But again, this staff should be able to give up 3 runs and be able to win a ball game because this offense should be able to put up 5 runs. It should. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating. Shout out to the 90 people that are here so far as the numbers continue to climb. Shout out to the chat. I'm going to get over to you in a second. Appreciate all of you. I know you guys are putting in some good thoughts over there. I want to make sure I get into everybody. J-Mac Customs, former guest of the show. Good to see you, J-Mac. Good to see you, brother. If nobody saw, but since you're all on socials, you should have saw that J-Mac and Vintage Mets on Instagram, 2 great people, did something awesome when it came to building the Citi Field lockers, which is now going to act as a backdrop for Vintage Mets when he does his IG Lives and Mets Mondays at 9 o'clock. Love to see it. Came out awesome. If you haven't seen it, head on over to J-Mac socials. He's got it posted. Head on over to Vintage Mets. Make sure you follow him. Check it out. Just incredible work. I'm still thinking, Jay, if you're still here, I've been thinking about ideas for something to be made to throw your way that I can add to my cave back here. Maybe use something even behind me. Thinking of some stuff. I'll be in contact. I am thinking about some things. We'll see what happens. But shout out to you, brother. Thank you for being here. Let's see who else. What else? We got Rosie K joining it. Got some things being said. So many perplexing decisions, too. Hard to have confidence in their ability to compete with the Phillies. The Phils are hot. Harper's hurt. I know that. He'll probably be out a couple of games on the elbow. Things came back negative, but still, and we all know Dombrowski, aggressive, always in the win now mode. They'll be aggressive at the deadline the best they can to get the things that they need. I believe that they will find some help on the back end of that bullpen too, after losing Alvarado to the PED suspension. Excuse me. So I have no doubt that they're going to go after somebody there to better themselves. So always in that win mode, win now mode, I should say. Taking a look. Top in the building. What up, Top? Good to see you, brother. Always appreciate you. Rosie K saying Soto looks completely lost at the plate. I'll talk more about Soto in a little bit, and we'll talk about the offense. Andre saying he looks confused. Fair. Pantries stating the obvious, but it's 100% true. We sweep the Dodgers and the White Sox if the hitting shows up. Yeah. If it's should be riding a 6-game win streak right now. Should be. It's like, it sounds crazy because when you say your team is 12 games over 500 and they be in first place in any division in baseball right now outside of the NL East and the AL Central because of the way the Phillies are playing and the way the Tigers are playing, like it. But what's crazy when you really think about it, if you watch all these games, which we do, this team should really have like maybe 15 losses because of the way that some things have gone. If they got some hits and if the offense was there, this team could be like a juggernaut. And it's not. I think that's what frustrates fans a lot too. We want a lot of this team, and this is what happens when you have expectations. 1,000%. But I get why it can be frustrating for sure. I see a lot of things talk about the approach. Rosie's saying that Blackburn is no saver. He's not. He's not. I look at him more as an arm that can filter in just to give guys some rest. As an example, giving an extra blow on that day to someone like a Clay Holmes, and Armand, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, brother, but I believe, because I do have a graphic that I will be showing shortly, I believe that so far Clay Holmes has 60 innings pitched in 2025. It's June. It's going to be June coming up. He's got 60 innings pitched already. I believe he had 62 innings pitched last year. So again, finding time, stretching things out, giving guys some rest here and there. Maybe that extra day can keep guys a little bit more fresh, but it is something to think about. But yes, I agree. Blackburn's no savior. He's more so of a stopgap. And I think he's someone that you're going to see, sprinkled in spots. But I think once Minaya and Montas come back, I think that Blackburn's going to fade a little bit more into a long relief type of role, AAA type. That's what I think. Let's see. My main man, Ant. Subway to Shay. Nice mic and arm. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Shout out to you for putting me on, as well as John, to the Shure microphone. It's awesome. I love it. Thank you so much. Anytime, J-Mac. Any time. Yes, we will. We will do something. I'll figure it out. Whatever that idea sparks, I'll let you know. And Carson coming in with the if team. I would on this show play the graphic that I made for Carson as he is the if man, the if superhero. But because of the tune that is attached to it, I do not want to be copyright stricken and this video be non-monetized and things of that nature. So if anyone is curious about the if man, I will gladly send it to you on the side and you can laugh about it. But I did make something today for Carson to symbolize the if man. Armand coming in and telling me that the Holmes had 63 innings pitched last year and he has 60 right now. So again, working in things like that is a big deal. Now look, I want to start off with the pitching as a whole because it deserves its flowers. I did make a graphic for it. Now, obviously, today is a little bit off, mainly because of the canning stats that are on my graphic. I made this graphic early this morning, and it's off because he had a rough go today. I know some were talking about it in the chat. He got roughed up. Not ideal, not what we're used to seeing from Griffin Canning, and the last thing we want to see against some team like the Chicago White Sox. But didn't have his way, so these numbers are a little bit off for him, but still, you get the point, and then we're going to work into some other things to give some guys some necessary flowers, even though there's a lot of negative that can be harped on. I want to still expound upon the positives because there are still good things happening with this team. It's kind of getting lost in the muck of the inconsistencies of the offense. But the pitching deserves its flowers. Now, when you look here, the lab results, okay? Kodai Senga, 146 ERA with a 1.24 whip and 55 innings pitched. Clay Holmes, 2.98 ERA, 1.24 whip with 60 innings pitched. Peterson, 2.88 ERA with a 1.28 whip and 50 innings pitched. Griffin Canning, a 2.86 ERA with a 1.32 whip in that's the wrong one. It should say 55 innings pitched, but those numbers are off right now. And McGill closing it out with a 3.52 ERA, a 1.36 whip in 53 2/3 innings pitched. Now look, the offense has its issues. The pitching in general, as a whole, has been awesome. This is the complete opposite of what a lot of us thought was going to happen with this team. We thought the offense would be carrying the pitching. Meanwhile, the pitching is carrying the offense, which makes you think, well, this offense eventually has to turn around. One can hope. Still waiting for it. But the pitching has been incredible. David Stearns deserves his flowers, and they're doing this without the guy they spent the most money on from a starter's position, from a starting rotation salary, I should say, that being Frankie Montas, or the guy who they retained by re-signing, that being Sean Manaea, have been doing it without him because Manaea is, considered the 1A, if you will, to Kodai Senga's 1. They deserve all the flowers in the world, but who really deserves some flowers, especially after that game against the Dodgers, pitching to a 2.79 ERA on the season. His last 2 starts have been awesome, especially against top flight teams. Our first man on fire is David Peterson. His last 2 starts is 1-0, 13 2/3 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 11 strikeouts. He looks like a different person out there. He really does. And having someone like this, when you're able to go out there, and I know people have questions about the back end and how things are going to hold up when it comes to guys like Griffin Canning and Tyler McGill. Like, I get that. But I trust the likes of the moxie, if you will, and presence that I think that Clay Holmes can have on the mound. I trust what I'm seeing from David Peterson, and I do believe that Kodai Senga is pitching to a Cy Young type of level. I'm not saying he's the Cy Young, but I'm saying like his results so far have been pretty strong. He's wiggled out of some trouble here and there, but he's pitching like a 1, like he's supposed to. So it's great to see that you have 3 pitchers right there, that being Senga, Peterson, and Holmes. And I think Manaea is going to work in just fine eventually once he gets back. But the pitching has been great. It has. I love seeing it. And just to shout out some other things that I have earmarked. As always, giving respect. These stats are coming straight from Mets Muse on Twitter. Shout out to you, brother. Always doing fantastic work and making me a smarter fan. Look towards the bullpen. We all know Reed Garrett has been nails lately. He's been awesome. He's been untouchable. Huascar Braziban, who this season is pitching to a 1.11 ERA. He's got 31 strikeouts and 32 innings pitched. He's got a 3-1 record. I think he's the top 5 reliever in baseball right now. And then, of course, the return of Sugar. Edwin Diaz, over his last 15 appearances, 15 2/3 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 22 strikeouts. Looks sharp, man. Looks back. Do they baby him at times? Yes. Can it be a little hectic and wild at times? Sure. But I'm starting to see glimpses of the guy that I saw in 22. That's for sure. The guy we all want and need on the back end. That guy's there. Now, can we get the guy a lead? Can we score enough runs to get him a lead to protect? That's the question. I see a name in there that's being mentioned, and I'm going to save that name for something that I have, coming up. But I will save that for the joke that I have. Now, going back to the chat, checking in, see what we got going on over here. Want to give some people their flowers and bring some attention to some things that are being said, because it's always good over in the chat. Let's take a look. Odd coming in saying that we should send Eric Chavez to the moon. I do have a graphic of that, just not on here. Through Twitter, I do. I've sent it multiple times. I sent out a thing last night on all the people that I have sent to the moon, which is now up to 6 people, I believe. Chavez is one of them. Let's take a look. Tyrone Taylor has been great. Yes, Tyrone Taylor. Oh, my God, that throw from center field. Getting Mookie Betts. Not some bum. Got Mookie Betts out. Taylor's been great. Does his job on the back end, back of the lineup, turns the lineup over. Like, he's been great. Really has. He understood the assignment. Let's take a look, take a look, take a look. My ace got rocked by a bunch of con. Odd. I said yesterday when they were doing the infield outfield breakdown of who's out there for the White Sox, I said, man, this doesn't look like a major league team. This looks like the morning shift, the people that are working at Costco. Who the hell are these people? Question if those guys are still in baseball. No, they just went to Chicago. You forgot about them. Just ugly. Take a look, take a look, take a look. Here we go. I think we got a new commenter here saying, hey, how much stock do you put in expected stats like expected batting average, slugging, WOBA? Because I was looking at them and Juan Soto has been so unlucky, it's unreal. I'll save this one. I'm going to start when we talk about the hitting towards the second half, which we're going to get to in a couple of minutes. But I have some thoughts and some feelings on this one, so I'm gonna keep it there for a minute, but I'm gonna come back to it. My main man Stevie Mac, who's always here, he's always lurking, asking if I sent my Wi-Fi router to the moon. Now the fact that you gave me that idea, I think I have to create a graphic now of a Wi-Fi router going to the moon. So thank you for that. Once I'm done here, I'm going to work on that to make sure that I have it for episode 198 for you guys. Shout out to the 120 plus that are here right now. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We got 23 people here on the YouTube side to 18 likes. Make sure you like the video. We are up to 29 votes on the poll, which is the Mets are 12 games over 500. What worries you more, the pitching holding up or a lack of offense? Still a commanding lead for lack of offense, as it's at 93% to the pitching holding up at 7%. Shout out to all of you that have voted so far. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, because I want to see some more voices coming into this chat to be a part of the conversation. Zero Cool coming in like I knew he would. The Hitless Wonders, trademarked by Zero. The Hitless Wonders, when are people going to realize this lineup is one of the worst in baseball? I think it's an unfortunate lineup. I think it should be doing a lot better than what it is. It's not the worst in baseball. It's acting like the worst in baseball, but I don't think it's the worst in baseball. They should not be ranking where they are towards the bottom half of the league. They shouldn't. Clink coming in saying, the morning shift at Costco workers saying, what the hell did we do to catch strays from Ibby? Oh my God. I could have said anything there. I could have said the morning shift at Chili's. I used to work at a Chili's. And I was a part of that morning shift. It's okay. But, anything in general, just wild. Lisa G, love you, Lise. Good to see you. LGM as always, no matter what. Caught up on the chat. Appreciate all of you. Look, guys, I'm going to head into a break. We're going to come out of the break. We're going to do something fun right out of it. Remember, the break is only 30 seconds. It's just an ad spot for the audio side of the podcast, which is going to be, as always, available to you Thursday morning or thereabouts on all the platforms, Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your audio podcasts, if you choose to take in just our voices as opposed to seeing our pretty mugs right here on X and YouTube. We're going to come out of the break. We're going to talk some offense. We're going to talk about the schedule. I'll get to some more of those questions. We'll keep you involved over on the chat side. As always, Matt Ibanez here, a.k.a. Ibby, Til Mets Do Us Part. We're going to come out of the break. We're going to have some fun, as we always do. I'm going to find that break, and I'm back in 30. And just like that, we are back. Matt Ibanez here, a.k.a. Ibby. Til Mets Do Us Part, checking in with you live on a Wednesday. As always, we're having fun. We always do. Shout out to the 130 people that are here with me. Appreciate all of you. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to reach 1,300 subs to kickstart a new campaign for a giveaway, which is an awesome, awesome, awesome piece of memorabilia that would go great with anyone's Mets collection to be displayed however you want to go about handling said piece. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. We just got to get there. We just got to get there. Before we get into the offense and the schedule, there are some things that we need to tend to. That being an ad read. And I'm going to read a new one for you guys because I want to see, this is kind of like a test run. I want to see if you guys like it as opposed to my normal one, which often reads from independent safes. And independent safes are protecting homes and businesses with secure residential and commercial safes. Fireproof peace of mind in every corner. Visit independentsafes.com today for security that stands strong. But I also messed around and I made a new one just to see what people think, to also mix it up with my new segment that I've been wanting to integrate into the show for a while. Are you tired of the nonsense? Are you ready to lock away the chaos and throw away the key? Introducing Independent Safes, the ultimate solution for protecting what matters and shutting out what doesn't. Built with military-grade steel, biometric security, and a zero-tolerance policy for stupidity, these safes are more than just storage. They're a statement. Whether it's your valuables, your peace of mind, or your last shred of sanity, which as Mets fans, we are often at, keep it all secure. And as for the stupidity, yeah, we got a safe for that too. Lock it up, toss away the key like yesterday's bad ideas, which we hear a lot of as we are all a part of Mets Twitter. Independent safes. Secure your stuff. Silence the stupid. Visit independentsafes.com. Now, this leads into my new segment that we're going to roll right into, and I hope you enjoy how ridiculous it really is. But I saw a name that was bantered about in the chat before that's going to be a part of this inaugural segment that we will have moving forward. I'm introducing to you, in part, with Independent Safes, our new segment.
Til Mets Do Us Part. Dope of the day. Dope of the day.
That's right, the Independent Safes Dope of the Day. This is when the part of the show where I'm often putting somebody into a safe because of the stupidity of what they said or the horrible play that they are putting forth on the field. This week, our Dope of the Day on this Wednesday, the inaugural Dope of the Day, is a name that was said in the chat and someone that needs to go into an independent safe. Got to put him in, got to lock him away, got to toss him into the ocean, whatever it may be. It's Jose Butto. It's gotten to the point with Butto that I just don't want to see it anymore. I don't. I think a lot of Mets fans feel that way. And look, I've said things like this in the past where there are people that I say this and then the upcoming week, so by the time episode 198 rolls around, I'm eating my words, and I would love to be eating my words. I'll eat all the crow if it gets Jose Butto. Butto? It's Butto right now. It's Jose Butto. Because he's been pitching like butt. But the overall results, they're just not there. Yeah. You got odd call him Joey Backshots over here. Look, it's not pretty. And it's why he's a part of this initial segment that's going to become a staple of the show at the halfway point. So Jose Butto, I hate to break it to you, brother, but you are this week's
Til Mets Do Us Part. Dope of the day. Dope of the day.
Congratulations, Jose. You are this week's Til Mets Do Us Part. Dope of the day. Now that we can get on to more serious things. Shout out to the 144 people that are here with me, rocking along. I appreciate all of you. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you leave a vote on the YouTube side. We got 30 votes so far. If the Mets are 12 games over 500. What worries you more, the pitching holding up or the lack of offense? Still, the commanding lead is still with the lack of offense, 93% to 7%. Heading on over into the chat real quick before we dive into the offense and some other flowers that need to be handed out. No, Odd. I'm not. Look, I'm a teacher who needs money, but no, I have not reached the OnlyFans sponsorship status yet. Don't know if I fit the criteria for what they want. Appreciate it, though. Stanley Babbage saying he's looking forward to Mauricio being called up. I think a lot of people are. I still think we're a ways away. Like I said last show, I said end of June, I thought, for Mauricio. So we still got some time there. Let's see. Zero Cool with probably the comment of the day so far. Possibly 144 people. That's the Mets team batting average. I'll give you that one, brother. That's a good one. That is a good one. And Maureen, good to see you. Love it when you get to be here. Glad it fit into your schedule today. Maureen saying the obvious that a lot of us feel, oh shit, Buto whenever he comes into the game. Yeah. That's the first thing I said when he came in. I was like, oh, God damn it. Come on. But Pinch, come on. I mean, I appreciate it, but I mean, that's not going to be happening. I appreciate it, though. Oh, Pantrice, my favorite Redditor, who was the first one to mention us over on Reddit. And I've seen some other people mention our show over there as well. So whoever listens to the show that knows about us, there are other people that have mentioned us on the Reddit side. Shout out to all of you. Please keep spreading the word of Til Mets Do Us Part. I'm always checking over there to see if we're mentioned because I'm always curious. It's another avenue of finding new people. I saw like 2 or 3 other people mention us before. So shout out to all the Redditors or the Reddit. Is that what they're called? Redditors? Whatever it may be. Shout out to everyone over on Reddit that listens to the show. Appreciate you. And please join the chat. Come to the YouTube side. Join us during a live. And let's get to know each other. Let's have some fun. Let's talk some Mets. But shout out to all of you. Now, the offense. A lot of questions. I'm going to start with the very, very good and the thing that needs to be said. And I've taken a lot of flack and a lot of shit on this show when it comes to Brett Baty. And I ran a segment on this show weeks ago now about needing to let go. And I sang, I will remember you. I think it's Sarah McLachlan. I think. Is that who it is? I don't even know. It's maybe I don't know who sings it. I sang the song, I Will Remember You. And I was basically letting Brett Baty go because sometimes you have to let something go in order for it to fly. I finally let it go. And Brett Baty went down to AAA yet again. And it wasn't working. He went down to AAA. He's hitting the ball. He gets called back up on May 5th. It is May 28th right now. And he is our offensive man on fire. Because you can see right here, since his call-up, this man is batting .296, a .321 OBP, a .593 slug with 5 homers, 13 RBIs, and a .155 weighted runs created plus. Not to mention, he is playing fantastic defense. And I know Carson's not here right now because he's prepping for his show, and that is fine. But Brett Baty has been awesome. Brett Baty has been, as crazy as this sounds, Brett Baty has been appointment television. And that's saying a lot about the offense in general as a whole, because you're like, of all the names, you're like, you think watching Brett Baty at bats is appointment television right now? Yeah, right now it is. Because I see a guy that is up there, and I talked about this during his 2-week run last year when he looked like he was finally finding it. The one word that I echoed then that others are saying now is confidence. Sheer, full-blown confidence. This player has it, and it's showing in his play. The defense, everything that we heard about over the last 2 off seasons when it came to working on his defense was not showing. Now it's showing in spades. He is playing phenomenal. He made an unbelievable play. I look, in the grand scheme, it didn't matter. It didn't matter because they ended up losing 9-3 today, but he made a fantastic snag at third base. The defense he's been playing in general, in comparison to Vientos especially, he has been otherworldly at third base. I love the fact that he's ripping the ball hard. I love the fact that he's hitting the ball in the air. I love the fact that he's hitting home runs. I see a different ball player. I see a ball player that I had been saying on this show that I believed he could be, which is why I never really gave up. I let him go because I thought maybe I just got to let him go for something to happen. I still have my bold prediction, though. We'll see if that comes to fruition. But as a whole, Brett Baty, my brother, you deserve your flowers because you have been phenomenal. Keep it going. Stay confident. You know that this is your shot, and you are grabbing it by the throat, and you're not letting go. And that shows me that you belong. You belong in Queens. You do. Shout out to everyone in the chat. 152. Take a look. Odd saying Brett Baty looking like Jeff Kent. Now, I'm just seeing like aggressive swings, man. I did see another one. I saw another stat where he's only walking at like a 3% clip, a little bit over a 3% clip, and striking out at like a 21% clip. And if Armand's still, he can double check that. But I do believe that that's the case from what I remember checking this morning. Might have changed the numbers because of today. But I love the fact that he's being aggressive, attacking, not being as passive, not watching as much. It's a good thing. Pantry's coming in saying, so happy for Baty. Was getting tired of Vientos letting ground balls go through his legs and his glove. Not charging balls, no range whatsoever. Vientos is losing third base. In fact, to me, right now, he's lost third base. We are getting to a point where you're seeing Vientos there in spots, but I don't think it's the right play. I think Vientos should be playing third base. I do. Now, the question that becomes what happens at second. I think you're going to see Jeff McNeil there more often than not because I think Luis Acuna is losing a grasp on consistent playing time outside of his speed. But the gloves there, it's nice to have a player like that. But I think he's working more towards a super sub role right now, at least. And if you're asking me where would I rather have McNeil, center or second, it's second right now. I love keeping Tyrone in the lineup. Carlos joins the chat. What's up, Carlos? It's all good, man. It's okay. You're here. It's all that matters. Armand saying when Baty was sent down, he knew it was his last chance, and he finally kicked it into gear. Hey, sometimes it just takes time for some people. That's it. Sometimes it takes time. But I'm glad that he's playing confidently, and I truly believe that this can stick. I do. I think that all it takes is one moment for the game to slow down for people. I think it's finally slowed down for him. I do. I really, really do. It's awesome to see, and I believe it can continue. I really do. Another person I have to highlight from the offensive standpoint, at least. I know he didn't have a good game today, but Francisco Lindor, can we please talk about Lindor for a minute when it comes to the leadoff spot? The numbers that I saw today are wild. Since both players have moved to the leadoff spot, that being Shohei Ohtani and Francisco Lindor, they both own an F-WAR of 9.1. Over the last 162 games that Francisco Lindor has been in the leadoff spot, he has a slash line of 295, 365, 523. Leads to an OPS of 888. A weighted runs created plus of 149. 36 home runs, 101 RBIs, 41 doubles, 195 hits, and 33 stolen bags. You know what that is? That's the guy that everyone bitched about, that they said, well, he's not the same guy like he was in Cleveland. Sounds like the guy to me. Playing phenomenal baseball. Continues to be a leader. But that needed to be highlighted. Shout out to Mets Muse for reposting that one. And shout out to the person who actually posted it, which was someone by the name of Patrick Glynn, or Patrick R. Glynn on Twitter. So shout out to you, man. Good stuff. Love seeing things like that. Love seeing breakdowns and stuff like that. The offense as a whole, though, 5 through 9 is an issue. Truly is. It is an issue. And I know that Keefe over at Shea & Sons, shout out to my brother Keefe, was talking about this one and was mentioning how he felt that there's a huge issue and problem with the offensive construction towards the back end of the lineup. And I agree with him on this point, being that you're seeing a lot of change 5 through 9 because they can't get anything. So they're looking to spark anything. So you're seeing the likes of Brett Baty move up, which he deserves. I know they wanted to keep him at 9 because he was doing well, but no, at that point, get him up in the lineup. Bat him 5th. Let's see how that works out. You can easily move him back down. I don't think it's going to discourage him. I think he's confident enough now. Put him 5th. Move him up in the lineup. You're trying out Jared Young, who had a great game yesterday, okay? But the lack of offense, and I think it was Metsmerized that posted Marte's overall numbers for May, and I feel like they're a little bit misleading. I do. Not a lot in terms of extra base hits and things of that nature. I can't do the Marte thing. I think Marte is lucky to be on this team come July. Now, is that going to change because of his relationship with Soto? I don't know. But like I said, you want that, that's fine. Be a cheerleader then. Just you can't be on the 26. Like, you can't. I'm sorry. You're not providing enough. You can't play defense. You're slow. It's like, so the one thing is he had like a piano on his back the one time. He got thrown out the plate. Like, it's not there for me anymore. I know a lot of fans feel that way too. But 5 through 9 is a problem. Like I just said, Luis Angel Acuna not hitting the way you want him to. Speed's there. It's great to have that speed late, but it's becoming more and more like a pinch runner, it feels like. Jeff McNeil's been doing okay, but I said Tyrone Taylor's been the one guy that you're like, yes. Him and Baty have been like the guys like, yes. Francisco Alvarez, a lot of issues. It's not looking good lately. I'm not going to use the B word on him just yet. I don't do that quickly. But it's just coming off of the hand, the sapped power, not really pulling home runs, not really hitting home runs. On the other hand, Luis Torrens, as a part of this dynamic duo, if you will, behind the dish, from a defensive standpoint, both of them are great. From an offensive standpoint, at least Luis Torrens is putting bat the ball, getting on base, moving the lineup along, moving the chains, if you will, passing the buck to the next guy. He's doing his job. But there are a lot of questions on this back end, which, what's going to be available come the deadline? I don't know just yet, because I think a lot of teams are still in the thick of it. It's hard to look and say, oh, we can get this guy. They can go after this guy. They can get this guy. I don't know if you can do that right now because so many teams are still in the hunt. But I do think that this team is going to be looking for offense. I do. Where? I don't know, but I think they're going to try to find another bat. I do. They're going to try things out. They're going to try out the kids. They're going to try things along the way because we still got a ways away until the deadline. But I do think that something offensively related can be the attack come the deadline. I still think they'll look at pitching. They'll look at price tags and stuff. But I think they're going to be looking at offense. I really do. I think it makes sense. Heading over into the chat. Take a look. Pantry's coming in saying you could thank Baty's AAA batting coach, by the way. Said he's going back to hitting that way and ignoring Chavez and Burns. I think everyone should ignore Chavez and Burns. Oh, Barnes, I should say. Chavez and Barnes. Jacob Barnes. Oof, just brutal, man. The approach, everything. And I didn't forget about that starred question. I'm going to get back to that in a moment once I get through this here. Take a look. Zero Cool saying that Jet Williams will start game 1 of the playoffs at second base. We'll see, man. That'd be cool. I love Jet. That'd be cool. We'll see about that, though. Take a look. I always see Baty lighting up the bat speed charts when I look at the Mets game on Savant for what it's worth. Yeah, it's good to see. I have seen that as well. And is it Lounge Zinger? I'm blind right now. I think it's Lounge Zinger. But yeah, the fact that he's swinging the bat faster, bat speed goes a long way, man. And it can lead to better results. So I love seeing stuff like that too. And I thank you for bringing it to the table here. Love to see it. I also agree. Torrens has totally won the job over Alvarez. I fear Alvy's swing makeover is a bust. It just seems like he's overcompensating for contact as opposed to just being what he should be as a power hitter. I don't know if it's somebody in his ear. I know he said that he worked a lot with JD Martinez. Like, I don't know. It just seems off. And maybe it's still the hand, because we have to remember hand injuries do sap the power of the best of hitters. So it's possible that it could still be working through the injury, but it's ugly to watch right now. It really is. Excuse me, I have to take a quick sip of water. But frustrating none the least. Trying to catch up in the chat best I can. The one thing I did want to bring up, got Brad over here. I saved from before. The offense still not looking going into June is concerning, which I did hit on, which I agree with. The bigger one is Soto. Did Jeremy Barnes? I said Jacob before. Jeremy Barnes. Did he break Soto? I don't think anybody broke Soto, if I'm being honest. I think it's just a rough go, which then brings me into Lounge Singer over here saying how much stock did I put into expected things and talking about the likes of Juan Soto and how a majority of his things on Savant or wherever you look at charts and things of that nature are all red as opposed to blue. So it's like everything's there. It's just the results are not there. And look, I've talked about this last week when it came to his overall under the hood numbers and how he would rank in comparison to other people, and the numbers he's put up from a hitting standpoint match those of people that are having MVP-like seasons, if not better than what they're doing, but it's just not falling for him. But at the end of the day, you still got to find the hole. You got to find the gap. You got to shoot this. You got to shoot that. Like all these shooting the gaps, things like that. You got to lift the ball too. You can't pound the ball into the ground and think that you're going to get results. Okay. That's the frustrating thing. Like, I do agree that he does seem a little bit, apprehensive in the box, which is very, very unlike Soto, but I still think he's working through stuff. I do. The example that I used when someone brought this up, I don't think I said this last week, and if I did, I apologize. But the example I used when someone that I work with brought this up to me, talking about Soto, I said, everyone talks about New York and saying, oh, you played in New York, you played the Yankees, Mets, same thing. It doesn't matter. Like, you should just be doing the same stuff. Like, just do you. Like, it's easy. What's the problem here? Well, taking the money out of it for a minute, I said, okay, we are both teachers. Okay. We're both teachers. And it's like, you go to a new building, after being in one building for a long time, everyone, the routine, you're the king of the town. Like, people by name, they know you. You don't adjust to them, they adjust to you. And then you go somewhere else after being comfortable for a little bit, figuring things out. You're still a teacher. You're still doing the same job. Why don't you do the same thing? Well, I can't because I'm not around the same people and I'm still working through stuff. And I know people look and hear these things that I say and they think I'm just coping and trying to cover up and protect a player. But I don't know, man. I'm not worried about Juan Soto. I'm really not. I know other people are, and they do it for clicks on here and they do it for outrage and they want the attention that stuff like that brings. But I can't do it. I can't do it, and I'm not going to. So I'm going to keep my stuff to Soto on the field moving forward as opposed to other stuff. And right now, he's just not hitting. It's not happening at the moment. I think he's, started off May hot, and over like the last 15 games, he's batting like $150. Like, it's nothing pretty. He's not lifting the ball. Limited amount of home runs. I think it's like 1 home run. He's hitting terrible with runners in scoring position. He's doing much better when nobody's on base. Still working through it. And I'm not worried about it. That's why when I say, it's good to be winning ball games when you're struggling, because when that happens, if you finally click, you can add more to the overall results that you have to that point. So being 12 games over and being a shitty hitting team to this point, frustrating, yes, still 12 games over. Still got time to figure something out. Make changes, do what's necessary, whether that's getting rid of people or not. Save my feelings on that, but I know others have stronger feelings in that area when it comes to hitting coaches and firings and things of that nature. Sometimes it's best to just walk away from something and allow it to, no longer be a talking point. Like I said last week, get rid of something so it eliminates that from the vernacular of people, and we can try something new. Get a new voice. Try something. I don't know if that's going to happen. I want it to, but I don't know if it will. But to answer the question that was put out, do I take those things with a lot of stock? I think that they do tell a story. It's not the whole story, but it tells a story that I think Juan Soto summed up perfectly, and anyone that's played the game understand this too. You can hit the ball on the screws. You can have a great at bat. You can hit the ball on the screws. You hit it at somebody, you're like, shit, I was on that. Like, you can still go about your routine. You can still do your thing. Eventually, those are going to fall because the law of averages in baseball, it's going to actually swing the other way for you eventually. That will happen. And when Juan Soto was asked that question by Ken Rosenthal on Saturday night, after he hit that big double, the bases clearing double, he said, look, when Ken asked him about being unlucky, he goes, that's baseball, man. Like, sometimes you smoke a ball and it's caught. Sometimes you hit a little opposite field cue shot and you get an RBI out of it. It's like, that's baseball. And he's not wrong. Like, that's like, as a former player too, like, you look at things like that. It's like, yeah, you can hit the ball on the screws and you're like, damn it, I hit it right at the guy. It'll come around. It will. I know people are frustrated. Don't fall into the trap of listening to idiots. Just keep focusing on your team. Focus on baseball. Don't focus on the garbage. We do have a super, and I always appreciate a super. Shout out to the Hebrew Hammer himself. I appreciate you, brother. $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I'm here now. Put Vientos in the 2 slot and give it a week straight. I think we're also at the point where it's time to consider moving Soto down to perhaps the 5th spot. Also, fire Chavez. Well, I will say this. Juan Soto is not batting 5th. That's not going to happen. You got a better shot of Vientos going too. I know he had the other day. Didn't do so great, I don't think. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but he did bat 2 the one game. I know he was supposed to another game, but he ended up getting sick, having the abdominal pain. But he didn't get a chance to go in that game. But I think that you're going to see more of Nimmo out of the two spots, especially since you've been seeing more Nimmo-esque at-bats that people have been wanting with him batting second as opposed to fourth or fifth. So I think we're going to actually see like a week of potentially Nimmo batting second. It was great to see Vientos go the opposite way today and get a 3-run shot. It's great for his confidence. I hope that it can find some footing for him. But again, he has to work off of the breaking pitch and not miss the fastball. You have an opportunity to succeed here. You can't miss the fastballs. Your job is to do damage in the zone. You're still whiffing at an over 20% rate on fastballs down the middle. You can't do that. Can't have it. You have to be better. But I do think at some point you will see him in second. I still think it's going to be right now. I know every time you bring this up, brother, and I apologize, it's kind of like the same answer every time that I'm giving, but I think right now they're going to run with Nimmo. Are there chances where that can switch up, especially if there's a lefty on the bump? Yes, there is, and that could be the spots where Vientos could be able to be put into that spot and do some damage, and also break up the lefties, especially if a lefty starter. Like I said, you don't want actually, no, because Lindor switched, so I apologize. But still, I think that a lefty starter, you could see Vientos batting 2 more often. But last thing I want to get out of here on, and I appreciate, again, the super, my brother. Oh, wait. We have another super. Got Maureen coming in with $10. Thank you. I didn't see this. Just want to say that you're doing a great job going solo, though I do miss John's rants. Look, thank you, Maureen. I really appreciate it. John is still probably a couple weeks away from being back, but I spoke with him recently. He's doing well. No issues there. We're trying to figure out when that will be, but whenever he's ready to speak to people, I will allow him to have that platform and do whatever he needs and, say whatever he wants to say. But I do think it's nearing. I'm just not sure when, but he is doing well, and I appreciate the $10, and I will let him know that you miss the rants for sure. But thank you so much for the $10 super. It means the world. It always does. Now, trying to see. The last thing I wanted to hit on was the schedule, which I had put into the graphic at the start of the show. And that was just me hinting at the fact that this team needs to dominate the schedule. I think that when you take 2 or 3 from the Dodgers at home, you take 2 or 3 from the Sox, you should have took 3 or 3 from the Sox. You got a day off. Then you got the Rockies before you go back out west. You got the Rockies coming up for 3. Then you got, the Dodgers for 4, the Rockies for 3, the Nats for 3. You look at that schedule. It's like, I look at that and say, you should sweep the Rockies. That's 3 right there. You need to you need to split with the Dodgers, say. So you got 2 right there. Okay, it's 5 and 2. Then you got 3 again against the Rockies. You got to take at least 2 or 3 there. So that's 5, 7 and 3. And then you got the Nats. You got to take at least 2 or 3 there as well. So what? That's not so, like, there is a way for this team to create some space. And honestly, they should be doing more winning along this stretch of games. But when I always talk every season, we've been doing this for 4 years now. I always talk about these ways of creating space throughout the season. Whenever you have these openings within your schedule to do damage, you have to capitalize on them. We saw this team stumble last year where they could have avoided having to, go through the stress that they did towards the end if they would have just played better against the crappier teams. And they've played down to them and they lost those opportunities. This is a chance where you have the likes. You took 2 or 3 for Chicago. You got the Rockies for 6 coming up. You got to take at least 5 of those, if not all 6. Like, you have to. You split with the Dodgers, 2 of the 4. You got the Nats. You should be able to handle the Nats. You should sweep. But I'm saying take 2 or 3, but you should sweep them. This is where the offense really needs to be found as well. Bad teams, you should be fattening up. And it's not ideal that we just watch this team against Chicago struggle. Now, Chicago has some good pitchers. I'm not going to put it past them. Okay. But still, you need to do better. You have to. So the upcoming schedule is an opportunity for them to not only get the offense right, but to get back atop the division as well. Really is. This is a spot within this. This is the first time within the schedule, I think, where you have this X amount of games coming up. I know there's limited off days too, so that can factor in some things as well. But you got to fatten up here. You got to win these ball games. You must dominate this part of the schedule. This is where you got to flex your muscle. This is where it's got to come. Checking in with the chat real quick before we get out of here. Hebrew saying, I want to see some more super chats now. Come on, you cheap bastards. I always appreciate you, Hebrew. I really do. I really, really do. Shout out to you for the super. Shout out to Maureen for the super as well. Douglas Barnes checking in. Good to see you, brother. I swear that Soto looks at more pitches down the middle than he has hits. Frustrated. It is, for sure. Like I said, I was talking about that indecisiveness. Hebrew also saying that Soto is not Ted Williams. I don't care what anybody says. He never will be, and he never was. He's Daniel Vogelback on steroids. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hebrew, I love you, but come on. First of all, we're speaking the name that should not be spoken, that being of one DV. But that's not Juan Soto. Maybe at the moment you feel that way, but that's not Juan Soto. He'll be here soon enough. Don't you worry. I honestly believe that his bat speed is down 2.5 miles per hour because he's not on the gear. I'm not going to go that route. I'm not going to play that, that type of conjecture route. You're entitled to that opinion. I know his bat speed is down. I know Eno Saris did a great write-up on that, and he talked about it on Foul Territory. And I love Eno. He's great in everything that he does. Rates and Barrels is a great show with him and DVR. But I'm not going to go that route. I can't say that. Do I think that has something to do with it in terms of the results when it comes to the bat speed? A little bit, for sure. But maybe that just means he won't hit 40. But I still think he's going to hit 30 home runs. I do. And I think you can regain bat speed because we've watched, Brett Baty, swing the bat at the rate that he's swinging it. And it's a change in approach. And it's yielded some strong results so far. So I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Let's see. His bat does look a lot slower. He can't catch up to the fastball. Again, that indecisiveness that we've all been seeing, it just feels like he's just out of sync. Can't get comfortable in the box. Overthinking. Keith has hit on this a lot during the broadcast when he's been in there too, saying how, things look a little bit long. And sometimes when you're in it, it's tough to get off the mat, especially when everyone pitches you the way that they pitch Soto. But I'm not worried about it. I'm not. Douglas Barnes saying the bottom of the order has been acting like the top of the order. The top of the order should. Yeah, we're talking about Tyler Taylor and the Brett Batys of the world. Yeah, I agree with that. But it's good to see Pete coming around, hitting a couple of bombs. Lindor had the rough game, but he's been solid still. Others got to pick up the slack though, and we know Juan has to. I believe he will. It's just ugly right now. It's ugly, and it's easy to pile on that. It really is. But I do believe that it will come around. Okay. 6:45. I've been here for an hour and 8 minutes. Shout out again to the 170 people that are with me across YouTube and X. We got 24 likes on the YouTube side. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all of you. 36 votes on the poll. The Mets are 12 games over 500. What worries you more? Pitching holding up with a lack of offense, still dominating and holding, and going to close out the poll as the undisputed winner. Lack of offense at 94%, topping the pitching holding up. People want to see this offense go. It's worrying people to this point as we enter June, as it should to an extent. I still think it's going to be okay, but I do want to see better results. Carlos Mendoza mentioned it today in his presser, his post-game presser, saying how they need to be better. They will be better. Well, I love to hear things, man. I love to hear things. I trust you, Carlos, but at the same time, I got to start seeing it too. Got to start seeing it. Got to see a better approach in certain situations. Stop being overly aggressive when you shouldn't be. Stop being, too lax when you should be attacking. Like, it's hard to break it down the way I want to, because I feel like I would just end up losing a lot of people with the jargon and things of that nature. But it's ugly. It really is. But like I said before, I wanted to use this episode to highlight the things that are going well, just as much as the things that are not going so hot. So, for all the deficiencies of the offense right now, that continues with runners in scoring position, Juan Soto, 5 through 9 for the most part, outside of a couple of names. I still want to put a highlight on Brett Baty, who deserves it wholeheartedly. Tyrone Taylor, who's been awesome. The pitching side in general, everyone, I know Canning was roughed up today, but the pitching side, the bullpen, been phenomenal. David Peterson, you, sir, are a stud. You've been awesome, awesome, awesome. And just a dog on that mound. That game Saturday against the Dodgers was great to see, and something that every Met fan who's thinking about October, who wants to be there, should be happy knowing that a guy like that can step on the bump for you from the left side and can deliver something against a team like the Dodgers. You love to see it. It's fantastic. And I am here. I am very much here as someone that has pumped up the likes of David Peterson on this show over the last 4 years, as well as Brett Baty, that I can sit here now and say that I love that they are performing the way that they are. It's great to see, and it makes me feel good for supporting in that sense. So, with that being said, I appreciate every single one of you. It's an hour and 12 minutes in on a Wednesday, 6:50. That was my plan going into the show because I thought there would be a 7:10 start. Yes, Douglas, we stand Baty and Peterson. I appreciate Douglas because he always makes sure he sends me a message when Baty does something well on Twitter. I love it. Don't stop doing it. We'll keep these things going. Carlos saying that before the season started, David Peterson 14-7 with a 3.47 ERA. Hey man, I'm about it. I am about it. But I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much yet again to the 170 plus. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to Hebrew for the $10 super. Shout out to Maureen for the $10 super. Means the world. Really does. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everyone that was here with me in the comments today, having some fun, as we always do every single Wednesday. Make sure you also leave us a rating on YouTube. I'm sorry, not on YouTube. On Spotify, on Apple. Those 5-star reviews go a long way in making sure that people track and find us on the audio side as well. So I'm Matt Ibanez, a.k.a. Ibby. This is Til Mets Do Us Part on a Wednesday, signing off. Appreciate all of you. Hopefully when we come back next week for episode 198, we will be able to talk about our Mets roughing up the Rockies and handling their business to that point against the Dodgers before they hit the road against the Rockies then. So I'm out of here, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay safe. It's crazy out in these streets. But that being said, be well, and I'm out.